Luc Bouchard with Solve Act Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years, and I specialize in men's issues, men in relationships, and how men avoid intimacy. Today is the 67th day of the 72-day challenge. We're in the 10th week, the final week. Hoorah! I'm quite excited and happy about the fact that I'm wrapping this up. It's been a long 10 weeks. The daily focus is men and relationships, and the three key points that I'm going to be talking about today are about men and relationships. As I mentioned in video 66, the intention of this week is to just go over some noteworthy points from previous videos. And today, I'm going to be talking about video 18, which is men co-signing each other's bullshit. Video 32, which is distancing behaviors. And video 46, power over versus power with. And I've made notes, so I'm going to be looking at my notes, and we're going to jump right into it. Video 18, men co-signing each other's bullshit, was really about this dynamic that men get into, which is really for them about one of two things. Either they want to be liked, so they engage in pleasing behavior, or they don't want their friends to call them on their own inappropriate behaviors. And what I've noticed with myself and with other men is how men will willfully ignore behaviors that they're really not okay with, and that they'll just kind of put up with and tolerate. And that's what I mean by co-signing. It's the idea of if I do it for you, you do it for me. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, that type of idea. So men engage in this by either through a range of things, by ignoring, avoiding, tolerating behaviors, encouraging, or actually participating in. And really, it's the idea of that they don't want to be called on it, or they don't want to be disliked, so they're just going to put up with it. In video 32, I talked about distancing behaviors. And the main thrust around distancing behaviors is that men engage in activities which keep people at bay, keep people away, put up walls, have no one really being able to engage with them in an intimate way, and they're certainly not being authentic with self or authentic with others. So distancing behaviors are things like engaging in a lot of humor, to basically always cracking jokes and never taking things seriously. And when people want to be serious, that's when you're making humor and you're making light of, and you're just taking things off the topic. Sarcasm is another way that guys use, a tool that guys use to keep people at bay and keep people distance. And it's not that women don't do it, it's just that men are really good at being sarcastic, and you don't want to let your guard down when somebody's being sarcastic, because it might come towards you. Being extremely intellectual or in their heads is another way that you can keep people at bay and keep people distance, because you're not actually connecting with your emotions or your feelings if you're constantly in your intellect. Grandiosity is one of my favorites. Of basically you're making other people feel less than you because you're just so much better, and you look down upon people, or you engage in things that suggest that you're better. Willful ignorance is another one where that will basically keep people away because you're not noticing. You're just kind of going along, and you just don't see stuff because you don't want to see it. Ignorance is bliss. Another one that men really engage in is not admitting when they're wrong and or having to be right, and that's really about posturing and basically always being, I can't admit that basically I erred in any kind of way. And last but not least, in the distancing behaviors, is not accepting help. If you don't accept help, then you're not in any kind of vulnerable spot, are you? You don't need anyone, and you're kind of like, you're independent, and no one can hurt you, or no one can, you're not dependent on anyone. The last one I'm going to cover is video 46, and that's power over versus power with. And this is the visual pardon me, this is the visual I'll use with it, where you have one person here and another person here, and there's an interaction between two people, and this interaction leaves one person feeling less than. So what does that person do when they feel less than? What do they do when they don't feel equal to the others? And that's when they'll engage in behavior that's either power with or power over. The power with, an example of power with would be, I'm going to a movie with a friend, and my friend shows up late, and we miss the beginning of the movie. And it's just, I hate missing the beginning of the movie. I want to see the whole thing. So power with would be saying, I really didn't appreciate you doing that. It's really important to me. You seem to be always late. I feel like I'm always having to wait for you. I don't know if I can continue going to movies with you if you can't show up on time, or next time I'm just going to go in and you'll have to find me. That's power with. Power over is tearing them a new one and ripping their face off. And basically going, you're such, what the hell's the matter with you? Why can't you ever be on time? You're always causing this problem. It really pisses me off. You're stupid. That's power over. And then the question is, what does this person do? Do they have to go power over to make themselves feel better? Or can go power with? And when you get the other person basically going power over, then it escalates and it escalates and it escalates. And that's how we see problems. That's how we see fights, verbal fights and verbal confrontations, is because it's this one upmanship and over and over and over, and it gets out of control and out of hand. So those are my 3 key points on men in relationships. And those are out of the 9 topics, because this is the week 10, so I would have covered nine of them before that. These are the ones that I think stand out the most, and the ones that I've noticed are really problematic for men actually having authentic relationships and being connected with others. And as I always say, if you're not connected and if you're not authentic with yourself, how are you going to be authentic with anyone else? Luc Bouchard with Solve Act Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years and a video maker for 67 now. And let's see, that's going to be 5 more to go, and then I'm done. You take care and come back for 68. It's going to be a good one, a good recap. Okay, bye now.